Is there?
Hello, Yuri.
Hey, how's it going?
Doing good, thanks. You?
All good on my side.
Yes,
You,
our quick introduction.
yeah?
So I'm a stranger here, my first time. Yeah, I wrote one of the comments on the gateway integration.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And then I saw it as it wasn't a point in the agenda, and we can discuss it a little bit, some more details. And
Okay.
yeah, I would be interested in also contributing and helping out to bring that to life.
That sounds great. Welcome.
Thank you.
Uh, Sorry, it's not visible in Zoom. What's your name?
My name is Andre.
Andre.
I can update it, or I have only my short ABA.
Nice to meet you, Andre.
Good. I renamed myself.
Yeah, let's wait for a couple of minutes. I
Yeah,
don't expect
definitely.
actually like a standard attendees to attend today because I got ping from people that they're busy. But we can definitely discuss the stuff. Yeah.
Mhm.
And which company are you working for?
I work for a company called Open Systems.
Open Systems.
We are based in Switzerland, in Zurich.
Cool. And what do you guys do?
We do networking and security. So we are a service provider
Mm.
um, for other companies. We are basically an extension of the IT department of other
Mhm.
companies.
So you're doing like a professional services, this kind of stuff?
Yeah, so basically we have our own hardware and software.
Mm.
We ship it, or it would be similar to like a Palo Alto or so, but then we also
Mm.
manage it ourselves.
So
Uh,
hardware appliances and like this networking and also management on top.
exactly,
Something like
exactly.
that. Cool. Cool. Petio, how's it going?
Hello, everybody. Can you hear me?
We have a new community member, Andre, just joined us today.
Perfect. Now you hear me.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah,
good.
good.
Perfect. Hello, everybody.
Hello,
All
nice to
right.
meet you.
I think we can officially kick it off. I'll share my screen. It is a standard agenda. So agenda is here. I'll just double share it on in Zoom. Please set yourself to attendee list for proper tracking. Yeah, so I have like a light agenda today. So just accidentally, I stumbled upon today that we actually covered in some nice French article here, and it is uh, I think it's from Country Fest, or maybe I'm actually missed that, and it's from last year. Anyway, it's cool. So I just noticed it. It's an year ago. We have a symmetric slide. So yeah, there is some coverage. Uh, I will remove the misleading kind of range from last from 2023 KubeCon. Okay, I didn't see this one before, so happy to share. If you're not maintainer's mailing list or any kind of related CNCF mailing list, there was quite important email from Chris from CNCF CTO on like, XD story. So social engineering attempts to get some malicious code into, so worth reading. Unfortunately, I didn't find any version of online, so I can share the link. But if you're on any of the maintainers list, including k8gb, uh, uh, you are encouraged to read it. Long story short, just like, we need to be careful with, accepting code in, and we should understand the code, right? That we are merging. So for actually Andres, thanks for joining. And as you just mentioned, you are interested in this feature, in the Zio command, right? Okay, I think I'm correct. So
Yes,
if you
correct.
if you can provide some context to your interest and how we can help here, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So the use case, or in the end, we have multiple clusters. So we have 3 Kubernetes clusters, and we want to control the ingress, or to redirect clients to the cluster where an application is running. We considered a couple of solutions, and in the end, our k8gb looked like a very promising in this space, because everything runs in the cluster, and we don't need external components running outside of the clusters. So then, looking at how we could integrate it, we saw that it only supports Kubernetes ingresses at the moment. So there is this, how is it, GSLB CRD, but then I also looked a bit into code, and it configures an ingress, and we can configure an ingress, or we can add annotations to an ingress that will configure a GSLB
Exactly.
instance. So they are connected. And in our clusters, we use Istio at the moment. So we use Istio gateway to control that. So we have one Istio gateway deployment where all traffic enters the cluster, and then with virtual services, it is routed to the different applications. So in the end, or both Istio or any other implementation, or the Kubernetes ingress, in the end, I guess for k8gb, what we need to know is the name of the endpoint and the containers behind, or the pods behind the service, so that we can check their health. And we also looked, so the future will probably be the gateway API, Kubernetes gateway API, and Istio already supports it. So we are checking if it already has all the features that we have. So in the end, we want to contribute, or to have a solution that benefits us, but also as many people as possible. So if we were the only ones using Istio gateway, and all the features were supported by the Kubernetes, the API gateway, then API gateway would be the way to go. At the moment, it seems most of the core features are there, and then the implementation would be quite similar. In the end, just reading a couple of resources and taking the information from there. Yeah, so we would be quite interested in helping with this decoupling, definitely testing, also coding it. And there, I would like a bit your guidance. So I'm not very familiar with the code base. And I saw already your proposal to separate, basically, then, yeah, the GSLB spec from the ingress. I have a couple of ideas how this can be done, but you probably have better ones. Maybe you can go ahead now, or with what you think about this, or how to get there.
Yeah, that all makes sense. And yeah, historically, we tightly coupled ingress, because like we never anticipated something more, like, just, enable ingress based traffic, and that's it. So like now GSLB resource is like embedding ingress spec, like effectively, via the definition, and in background, in implementation itself, ingress type, right? So my idea here is to decouple it and actually reference, right? So like ingress will, so in that scenario, GSLB and ingress will be defined separately, right? But GSLB will reference existing ingress by some, metadata name or with some label-based selector. So like, how we doing in crossplane, for example, we are referencing, we have a set of, we have a standard form of selecting mechanism. So it's either metadata name or match labels. And so controller can pick it up like, the specific type of resource and get the data from it and make some decisions. So implement similar mechanism would make sense. And after decoupling GSLB from ingress, like while keeping the functionality without any regressions, we opened the quite straightforward implementation to integrate other resources. So that's kind of a high-level plan.
Yeah, that makes definitely sense. Okay, so you still see a future in the GSLB CRD, because another option would be, so in the end, what is relevant there is the strategy, right? That is the core logic, which could be provided with annotations too, for example. And then the GSLB resource could even not exist anymore.
Yeah. It's a kind of long-term idea because, and I'm still on the fence with this one because we have this like strategy chunk as declarative, right? And putting it purely on annotations, I have some concerns because it will be like a too much relaxed, and it will depend on the specific set of the resources that are not directly related and controlled by the specific k8gb operator and controller. So, and we have kind of sub-project k8gb Lite somewhere in the repository. So it is written by our core maintainer Miko. He basically implemented like a scenario. I think it's here. Yeah, in a POC mode, he made it like a little bit brutal in a separate repository because it was like a bunch of refactoring, but it's kind of living code where GSLB resource doesn't exist. It's only ingress and annotations. And yeah, again, like I'm still not sure if it is a way to go, like a final desired scenario, because we still need some like a declarative way to put like a specific GSLB semantics somewhere. And if it will only in a form of annotation, it's quite limiting. Well, to my taste of like how like API design, it's obviously like up to discussion. And yeah, so like high level, I would keep GSLB around like a centralized resource from which will keep a global service load balancing specific logic or like declarations like strategy type and some deviations per strategy like primary geotext, right? Because for example, like this exists only for failover type, and then instead of this ingress chunk, we would make like kind of resource selector, right? And we would be able to select either ingress or gateway or maybe directly to gateway if we get there, right? So we'll see something like that.
Okay. So no strong feelings. Just wanted to know your view on the topic. Yes. Yeah, overall our plan looks good. Yes. Yeah, I can start trying to understand better the code and trying to provide this feature. So at first, not focusing on any other integration, just decoupling this, having a backwards compatible solution where, as you saw, this resource selector and this ingress would coexist.
Yeah, sounds great. Yeah, definitely interested in this contribution. So it will enable a lot of opportunities. Cool stuff.
Okay, cool. Yep, very nice to hear. Or from my side, I wouldn't have follow-up questions, or I will follow up with once I get deeper in the topic.
That's good. That's great. I'm just writing down. So I'm just, no obligations, but we are really thankful for your contribution, willingness to contribute. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So then, or as a side note, also like if this goes well, I see in the future, so having, or for ECO, we have an ingress gateway, right? And now k8gb only checks the health of the containers or the service, the pods behind the service, and checking the health of a gateway or the gateway itself, or would also be a good step. So for checking the health of anything in the cluster that is on the path.
Yeah, so it's like kind of more health checks, basically, not only pod level. Yeah.
Yes.
By the way, currently we are not directly checking pod level health. We are operating on the service endpoint. So basically, it's simple. Standard Kubernetes service that is behind ingress, right? It has an endpoint resource. An endpoint resource contains a array of a piece of a healthy pods, right? So if if array is empty, then the stuff is unhealthy. So that's the logic. So we are not drilling like deep into pods has specific health checks because it's basically not our business, right? But endpoints is something that we check, so we can utilize probably similar logic with a gateway scenario.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, cool. Yeah, you can proceed. Thank you.
Cool. Thank you so much, Andrew. Yeah, standard PRs, there were not much time last couple of weeks for review, so we still have Azure support. I will try to prioritize it this week and we'll make a review. So we have like a full Azure DNS integration contributed by Millennium BCP Bank by Nuna. It's pretty good. Here, I still need some additional feedback from core maintainers. And so the guys who originally implemented the extra plugins feature. This is contribution from Tetrate, and yeah, I just pinged Tanush if he wants to finalize it or we should take over. And by the way, Andrei, it actually might be related. So this one is adding service backend in parallel to ingress, right? So honestly, like I don't remember the specific implementation of this PR, but the idea is that like enable not only ingress this type of HTTP/HTTPS traffic, but arbitrary service one, meaning like arbitrary TCP port, and it probably not compliant with the strategies that we currently discussed, and I think we can like if we proceed with our plan of decoupling ingress, right? So we will probably be able to like a reference service instead of ingress directly in that scenario, right? Like if you look at the spec, so we reference not ingress but directly the service, and it should pick up from endpoint arrays the healthiness status. So that might be like actually something to eventually combine and reuse our strategy here. We'll see how it goes. And that does make sense. So like we'll be able to reference arbitrary related set of resources. So ingress gateway and service kind of matches the picture as well.
Okay, got it. Yeah.
Cool. Thank you for feedback. Yeah, so I'll just notice like ingress decoupling and also G and also help here. Yeah, something like that. Okay, that's it for the stuff I put into agenda up front. Theo, tell me, do you have any experience with KGB, like in the last couple of weeks, as you also a relatively new community member?
Not really. I had the personal issues 2 weeks ago, and last week I was catching up with everything related to the stuff that I left behind. So I started playing around, but I will need some more time.
Yeah, sure. So let me know if you need any help with the local setup and this kind of stuff. So you remember we have this magic make target that will deploy everything locally. So yeah, if it fails, ping me.
Okay.
All right, folks. So looks like that's it for today. Thank you so much for attending, and hopefully see you in 2 weeks.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
thank you
you.
very much.
Ping me anytime in Slack. By the way, Andrea, are you in Slack in KGB,
Yes.
right? So you're following? Okay, great. So let's connect asynchronously. Whenever you have like any questions or update, please ping me there.
Yep, perfect.
Yeah, cool. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Folks. Cheers.
Have a good day.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.